Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Due to the rise in COVID-19 cases in the area, Minnesota State University Moorhead will be moving all classes that don't require specific equipment or learning environments completely online after Thanksgiving break. School administrators made the announcement to students this afternoon via email. It'll go into effect after the fall break that falls November 25th to the 27th. Residence halls and dining services will remain open after the holiday, and students are welcome to come back to their residence halls. COVID-19 is spreading faster than ever across the country. As case numbers rise, it's overwhelming contact tracers. And like in North Dakota's case, some have stopped the process completely. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie explains how this is impacting the spread of COVID-19 in the state.
Contact tracing in North Dakota has ground to a halt, something the Mayo Clinic says is necessary for slowing the spread of the virus.
If at some point contact tracing becomes overwhelmed and states or other entities have to stop, the spike in cases goes unchecked. So it does promote additional cases.
Backlogs of COVID-19 case investigations have health officials in North Dakota asking people to notify their own close contacts when they test positive. State health officials like Brenton Niesemeyer are hoping the new approach will speed up the process.
Now we're reaching our cases within that 24 hours of that test resulting, so we're able to educate them on isolation and get them home sooner. Versus before, when we fell behind, we were 48 to 72 hours behind.
The only tracing being done by the state is in the education system and in healthcare facilities, which has some questioning if self-accountability is enough.
If you're not going to tell your own contacts, you might not have told us those contacts anyways.
Niesemeyer says large private gatherings are the #1 COVID spreaders, adding it's tough, if not impossible, to identify close contacts from these kinds of gatherings.
In order for contact tracing to work effectively, we need to have our cases comply with public health.
Niesemeyer says everyone will have to do their part in order to slow the spread and bring cases down. In Fargo, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
And for much more information about contact tracing in North Dakota, download the Valley News Live app. You can find this story on our homepage. Well, a chilly day will be leading to an even chillier night around the area. Here's Hutch with a first look at the forecast.
This is Nathan in for Hutch for this evening. It was a windy one today across the board. Wind gusts, as we can see, gusting 25 to 35 miles per hour. But that gustiest place we did see was Grand Forks earlier today. That 37 mile per hour maximum gust today. We are seeing those north winds bringing some clouds in from Canada. So you can see those clouds mainly north of the South Dakota state line. But yes, it's a chilly one. Look at these temperatures. Low to mid 30s for most of us. Warmest out toward Jamestown at 40 degrees right now. 44 for our friends in Aberdeen, 41 in Sisseton. But of course, if you do plan on stepping out this Wednesday evening, looks like those clouds will hang around with us with temperatures falling quickly into those middle 20s. The winds do calm down though after we get past the sunset hours. And for our friends in Grand Forks, again, if you have those Wednesday evening plans, looks like it will stay a bit more mild up north, just with a thicker cloud deck up there. So that's what we have going on. Again, light winds there as well. Now, Stacy, we do have a chance of some snowfall in the forecast for tomorrow, in addition to the potential for the potential for snowfall, and also talking about Hurricane Zeta, which just made landfall in the 4 o'clock hour. So we'll talk about both of those things coming up in a couple minutes.
A lot going on. All right, Nathan, thank you so much. Well, it was a scary morning drive for one person when their vehicle went off the road and plunged into a swamp along the interstate. Trooper Gabe Irvis with the North Dakota Highway Patrol posted a tweet showing a Mazda vehicle in the swamp. He said the crash happened near Castleton on I-94 this morning. In the tweet, Irvis also said falling asleep behind the wheel is dangerous. The driver stated, "God saved me." No other details are out about the crash. Firefighters worked quickly to put out an attic fire in South Fargo last night. The homeowner in the 300 block of 8th Avenue South spotted it around 9 p.m. Fire crews needed just 5 gallons of water to snuff out the flames, which were contained to a 3-foot area of the attic. No word tonight on the cause. Bemidji police are asking for your help finding a missing 16-year-old girl. Desiree Sayers was last seen yesterday in the northwest side of town, and police say it appears she left the area voluntarily. They think she may be in the Red Lake area. Contact Bemidji police or your local law enforcement if you have any information. With people traveling less during the pandemic, hotels are seeing a huge drop in business. Now, the industry is trying to attract customers to use their rooms during the day. CBS's Laura Podesta reports.
Anne McGovern's stay at this Hilton hotel is no vacation. She lives in the area but comes to the Conrad New York downtown in Manhattan to find peace and quiet to conduct Zoom calls.
Just the quiet, less distractions, less feeling like you have to do other things because you're at home and you're trying to multitask. Like, in addition, this just allows me to be able to focus, attend my meetings, be really present for them.
Hilton is one of several chains allowing customers to use rooms during the day. Guests check in as early as 7 a.m. and leave 8 hours later. There's breakfast, lunch, Wi-Fi, access to a gym, and even an afternoon cocktail. The Hamilton Hotel in D.C. has a similar deal, offering customers a room to work in and a bit of relaxation at the same time.
We'll do a shoe shine for you while you're there if you want to kick off your shoes, obviously free of charge.
So you want this to be a luxurious experience?
Yeah, we want to think of everything, including, there's a bed there so you could take a nap if you're going between, large business trips.
The new deals are also helping fill more rooms, with most travel still on hold. The Hilton Conrad's general manager says safety is a priority. Rooms are disinfected and all employees wear masks.
The clean stay environment that we have in the suites and as you enter the hotel make people feel incredibly comfortable.
Expanding the business of hospitality to a new kind of business traveler. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
Officials say hotels are optimistic that they will overcome the pandemic. Joe Biden continued his focus on America's struggle with the coronavirus outbreak, promising a new path on day one. But the Democratic nominee says there's no easy path to defeating the pandemic, saying he'll do the right things beginning day one, but it won't be as simple as flipping a switch. Biden also pointed to the scene last night in Omaha following a Trump rally where police say 6 people were taken to hospitals after being stranded in freezing temperatures as evidence of the president's inattention to Americans' health.
So much better than this. Just look at what happened last night in Omaha after the Trump rally ended. Hundreds of people, including older Americans and children, were stranded in sub-zero freezing temperatures for hours. Several folks ended up in the hospital.
Biden spoke following a virtual briefing on the epidemic from his medical advisors. The Diocese of Fargo has announced the death of Monsignor Jeffrey Wald, pastor of St. James Basilica in Jamestown and churches in Windsor and Buchanan, North Dakota. Father Wald passed away yesterday in a Jamestown hospital due to COVID-19 complications. He was 56 years old. In addition to his recent parishes, Wald served in Fargo, Grand Forks, and Devil's Lake, among other cities. Well, we're less than a week away from Election Day, and if you're mailing in your ballot this year, you'll want to do that ASAP. Let's talk about deadlines. In North Dakota, Friday is the latest you should mail in your ballot. However, as long as it's postmarked the day before the election, your vote will be counted. In Minnesota, as long as your ballot is postmarked the day of the election and is received within the following 7 days, it'll be counted. Officials in both states say they are still mailing out ballots to those requesting them, but they suggest coming to the courthouse and voting absentee rather than leaving it to chance this close to Election Day. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz made the rounds in Moorhead earlier today. Governor Walz also went to Crookston for a groundbreaking. This is for the new Ag Innovation Campus, the very first in the nation. It's a 67,000 square foot facility that will employ 65 people. This comes after decades of soybean research and development. We'll have more on his visit tonight at 6 on Valley News Live. The CEO of JetBlue says flight bookings for the holiday season haven't been hurt by rising COVID cases yet. Robin Hayes tells CNBC the airline is still seeing a fair bit of interest in travel around Thanksgiving and the holiday period. He says that's likely due to a lot of kids coming home from college and people who haven't seen friends and family in a long time. Well, coming up on Valley News Live at 5, details on the government's major deal with Eli Lilly to bring an antibody drug to the public.
The winds are still out of the north. It's a 15 to 20 miles per hour at this hour. Winds will calm down, though, once we pass the sunset hour. We're still seeing a gust of 28 miles per hour for our friends there in Fergus Falls. Of course, we'll talk about that chance of snowfall next.